I decided to read Little House on the Prairie as a 30-year-old, and it was nothing like what I remembered. I remember the first time I read this book thinking, I never want to live on the prairie. I wonder what Laura Ingalls would think about all of our indoor plumbing. But as a child, I didn't really translate how awful everything was for Ma Ingalls until I started rereading this book. It starts out with Pa and Ma deciding to leave Wisconsin and all of their family and friends behind to take a journey to the promised land of Kansas. Yeah, and The Wizard of Oz hadn't even been written yet. They leave everything behind, pack up into a wagon, and just start driving, because they gotta cross the Mississippi River before it's not frozen. Laura has one continuous hope and dream on her trip across the prairie, and that's that she'll see a real Indian baby, a papoose. Every day, Ma has the girls get up and get dressed, and then she makes dinner, and they just basically live a regular life with traveling during the day. But no home, no hotel. It's awful. But it gets worse when Pa decides to cross a creek with his wife and 3 little girls in a wagon. He's gonna let him cross a river and not say anything? Pa has to jump into the water and lead the horses across the creek so that everybody doesn't die, and Ma has to steer the wagon. When they get there, they say their favorite phrase, "All's well that ends well." Except it didn't end well because they forgot one important member of their family, Laura's favorite member, her dog, Jack. How could Pa leave Laura's only friend? Laura cried, "Oh, where's Jack?" They had forgotten Jack. They had left him on the other side of that dreadful water, and now they could not see him anywhere. Pa said he wouldn't have done such a thing to Jack, not for $1,000,000. If he'd known how that creek would rise when they were in midstream, he would have never let Jack try to swim it. But that can't be helped now. I can't believe Pa leaves the dog behind, and I don't like him very much right now. However, it does actually end well because Jack does find them a few days later. Oh well, all's well that ends well. Finally, after weeks or who knows how long on the road, Pa finally says, "Let's settle here." And Ma says, "Okay." So they do, and he decides he's gonna build his own house. That's kinda hot. It gets less sexy though when he drops a log on Ma's foot and they think it's broken or that she's actually dead. That's okay. My mom always says, all's well that ends well. Ma's not dead, she just can't really use her foot anymore. Then Pa has the genius idea that he'll build a little thing to roll the logs up. Yeah, you should have done that in the first place. If Ma's hurt, who's gonna cook dinner? But let me wrap up some of these chapters for you because we only have a few minutes. Their house almost burns down. All's well that ends well. They all get malaria. All's well that ends well. If this is the prairie motto, I don't want to live on the prairie, ever. Like, not ever. On to one of my favorite parts, and that's Mr. Edwards. As a child, he was my absolute favorite, and as a grown-up, still is. What I really love is the Christmas part of the story, where he has all their gifts, and so he brings them from his house through a deep river in the middle of winter in Kansas, but gets them there for the girls on time and puts them in their stocking. And what the girls get blows my mind. They get a little cake with fancy frosting, they get 1 candy stick, a new tin cup, and a penny. That's all they got for Christmas? And finally, Laura's big moment comes. She sees the papoose. Then came a mother riding with a baby in a basket on the side of her pony. Laura looked straight into the bright eyes of the little baby nearer her. Only its small head showed above the basket's rim. Its hair was as black as a crow, and its eyes were black as night when no stars shine. "Pa," she said, "give me that little Indian baby." She finally saw her Indian baby. "Hush, Laura," Pa told her sternly. "Oh, I want it! I want it!" Laura begged. "It wants to stay with me. Please, Pa, please." "Hush, Laura. The Indian woman wants to keep her baby." "Oh, Pa!" And then the book has an even more terrible ending. Not only does Laura not get her Indian baby, but then she has to move again. That's right. Pa got his information wrong from the guy from Washington, and well, the Indians still get to keep their land. And that means that the house he built, the glass he put in it, all the furniture he built has to stay, and he has to leave. Okay, seriously, you're not going to take the windows? They had only been there for a year. Well, I guess Pa can just build another house on the prairie. Little House on the Prairie is a great book and a great reminder of why I never liked camping.